Hi everybody, in this video we're going to be looking at how you can get started with Google Classroom. The first step is that we need to go to the website classroom.google.com. Go ahead and go there now. So when you arrive at that website, you're going to see something that looks a little bit like this. To get started, you're going to hit plus. You can either join a class if someone has invited you, or you can create your own class. Today, we're going to be creating our own class. All right, so let's think of the name of our class. Since I'm a design teacher, I'm going to be writing design. And for section, you can write something like its period. So you might say block A or block 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to write. I'm also going to be including the grade. So I'm going to say design grade 6. Okay, I think that's enough. If you'd like to add some more information, you can do that with the subject in the room down below, but it's not required. All right, so I'm going to click on Create. All right, so after a minute or so, you can then go straight into your first class. So this brings us to our first section. Up at the top, we can see our navigation where it says Stream. Next to it, we have Classwork, People, and Grades. So I'm going to be going through these different sections up at the top and starting with Stream. So under Stream, we can see a couple things. First of all, we see the banner, and you can replace this if you like. If you'd like to put in your own picture of your class or something like that, you can. You're going to see the information that you just wrote. So you're going to see the name of the class and its block, because that was a section that I wrote. And then down below, you can see the class code. So this is a random code, and we can make it larger for our students to be able to see. We can also full screen it. And students would be able to take this code and type it into, remember this thing all the way back at the beginning that I mentioned? Into this little button. When we click it, it says Join Class. So if students clicked on that, they'd be able to enter it in there, and they'd be able to participate in your class. All right, so back on this page, we can see that there's another thing right below. It says Meet link. Let me just zoom in on that for you. So Meet is Google's platform for video conferences. If you've never used it before, it's very easy to use. And you can follow some of the tutorials that are on the bell tower. We have some links there for you to check out more information. So if you'd like to use Google Meet for your class, you can click on Generate Meet Link. When I click that, I can click on Generate Meet Link. Okay. Currently, it's visible to all students, so they'd be able to see and join that. Or I can hide it. I can also click Copy so that I can post it somewhere, or I could maybe email it to them so they could get access to it. All right, so currently I'm going to just leave it visible for them, and I'm going to click Save. So now we can see that we have our Meet link available right here, and if we click it, it's going to take us over to Google Meet. All right, I'm going to just close that, so that's a separate video. And you can also change your theme, or you can upload a photo over here if you have never done so. So changing the theme, we could choose from different colors and different topics. So it picked up on the word design for me, and it gave me some of these kind of highlighters and paint palettes, things like that. So let's say that you wanted to do something, I don't know, like a general classroom. So here's a green theme that's quite inviting. All right, so that's suitable. Notice it also is going to change the colors that we see in the stream here. So the title is now also green, and we can see that the rest of the body font is also kind of matching some of those dark grays. All right, so the very last section is that we have this part, and I like to use this for kind of like announcements. I don't really like to post content here. Think of this as like your Facebook or Instagram live feed, where if you post something here, it's going to be kind of pushed down the older it gets. So newer things are going to be up at the top. And you can choose if you'd like to cross-post it to multiple classes. So I'm going to actually just post it to this class. And I don't have any students, but if I did, I would see them here. I could choose which students, or if I'd like all students to be able to see it. And I could just write any kind of message. Welcome, everyone. Oh, I forgot my comma. This is our new classroom for Mr. Alex's 6th grade design class. Cool. And if I click post, just like on Facebook or Instagram or any other social media for that matter, it appears there. And my current settings are that students can click and they can reply. So if you want to have replies on, that's fine. Actually, I think also by default, students can also come up here and post things. So this is like a shared wall. If you want to change that, you can come up to the settings in the corner, and we can see that there are a bunch of different settings. We can change the name. We can see all those Google Meet things. If we want to change our code, we can also change that. So under Stream, we can click it and we can say students can post and comment, students can only comment, or only teachers can post and comment. Personally, I like the second one, students can only comment. That way it doesn't fill up with a bunch of silly stuff because, I teach 6th grade and those kids can be kind of silly sometimes. So this way, if I ask a question like, what's everyone doing for break? Now all of my students would be able to reply to that post, but they're not going to be able to, type some nonsense and post it for the entire class to see. So this is the sort of post that I don't want to see from students. If you do want to leave it on where students can post, I recommend actually teaching them about etiquette, about posting on your classroom wall, what is appropriate, what isn't appropriate. So that's up to you. All right, so our next section is called Classwork. So Classwork is a section that is only for the teacher. And in this section, you get to post any of the different content you'd like your students to see. All right, so let's try and create some content. Let's click on the big plus button, and we can see that there are a few different options here for us to post. So an assignment is something that we expect the students to take action on. And it's actually going to be something students can turn in and you can give feedback on, you can return, you can even grade it if you want. A quiz is an assignment. However, it will make in your Google Drive a Google form. The next one is if you want to have a class discussion, you can ask a question and you can have your students respond to it. Material is something like maybe a syllabus for your class, and material is something that the students would not turn in. So there is a little bit different functionality than you might see with assignment. Now, I teach a couple different sections of design. So, I might teach 6th and 7th and 8th grade design. And sometimes I might want to post the same sort of thing like my classroom rules and safety expectations, that sort of thing. So in that case, I could click this and I could repost something to all of my classes rather than typing it all out. So it's a great little tool. A topic, the last section here, that is something sort of like a title, or you might think of it like a group. If you wanted to post something, a topic is going to be like a group of different things that you see up above. So actually, when I'm getting started, I like to start with the very last one. I really like to start with topics. I like to kind of think of a broad category. So I'm going to be calling this one course materials. You don't have to do this, but this is just one way that you might organize your class. And, it looks a little bit boring, right? It's just kind of like gray and green all over the place. So here's a quick pro tip to help your kids organize things. You can click on rename, and on your Mac keyboard, you can hit Control, Command, Spacebar. So I'm holding Control, now Command, Spacebar, and it's going to bring up all of my emojis. Nice. Look at all these great emojis. So you can actually organize the titles of your topics with different emojis. So I really like to use brightly colored things like something kind of related to the topic. So materials, let's see if I can search for material. Well, not really. How about like paper? Great, there are a bunch of them in here. So how about anytime that there's a course material, my little routine is going to be to use a paper clip. You can use whatever you want. All right, so I'm going to click on rename. Cool. So now there's like a little colorful or visual cue for the kids. With emojis, there are hundreds of emojis that you could drop in there. So it's really up to your own imagination on that one too. So I'm now going to start populating my course materials. So I'm going to add, how about my syllabus? So I'm going to go over to material. And it looks just kind of like an email at first, right? So I've got a title. I'm going to say syllabus. And I'm going to give it a quick description. Here's the syllabus for design for 2020-2021. All right, so now I have these two different buttons. I can add something. So if I've already got a syllabus, I could pull it from my Google Drive. If I've got a link to something like a website I want them to see, I could use that. If I have a file I want to upload, I could also do that. Like if I had something made in Microsoft, for example, I might be able to use that. Or maybe if I had a PDF, I could also attach it. Finally, if I had a YouTube video, I could link to it directly. But you know what? I actually haven't made my syllabus yet, so I'm going to click on the Create button. Okay, so here are the main sort of tools in Google Suite. I'm going to go ahead and use Doc. So it's creating it, and it's going to attach it also. And now it's going to just open up a blank Google Doc. And that looks pretty familiar. Even if you haven't used Google Docs before, it's fairly similar to Microsoft, or I don't know if you've used Pages or OpenOffice. But you get your font color, your font size, the font family, whatever you like. So, I might just make a really quick document and say, whatever, syllabus. Great, and I'm going to come down to explore. All right, and when I click on images, these are images that we can use. So it's searching for stuff that is labeled for reuse. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one that says welcome with a heart. Hey, that looks pretty cool. There's another one over here I kind of like too. Looks like a chalkboard, like an old school class. Hey, that's kind of cool. I think I'm actually going to go with that one instead. Cool. That was pretty easy. So let's just drop that up there. And I'm going to give myself a little reminder. Give credit to photo. So I'm going to need to pull that back in a little bit, and I'm going to give credit to that person. No, let's make that 12. All right. So I might add my content down below and tell my students a little bit more about my class. Okay. And I got to make sure I give this a name, syllabus for 6th grade, 2020-2021. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's come back over here. So I've got my syllabus here, my post, and now I've got a couple other little choices to make. So first of all, do I want to post it on multiple classes? Nah, I'm just going to post it on my 6th grade class. Do I want all students to get it? Yep. And finally, my topic, I'm going to put it under course material. Okay, so when I'm all set, I can now go ahead and click post. All right, cool. So I've got my syllabus right there, and it's updated the name. So now it actually looks like the proper document. Cool. So now I can post some more stuff in there if I like, but I'm going to go ahead and make another really quick topic, and I'm going to do a new emoji. So this one is going to be for assignments, and I really want to get the kids' attention. So I'm going to, oh man, that one's not allowed. I want something red. How about this red pin? Yeah, that won't get their attention. So I'm going to call this one assignments. You can change the order really easily just by dragging that around. Cool. So I want my course material to be up at the top and assignments down below. All right. So let's make a new assignment. Okay, so let's say introduce yourself or yourselves. Please fill out a slide for a quick 5-minute introduction of yourself. Pretty easy. And I don't have this made just yet, so I'm again going to go to create. I'm going to do slides. And it's going to do that process where it's going to open up a new slides file for me. Introduce yourselves. Okay, so my kids might make a slide down below and introduce themselves with some really quick short presentation. And introduce yourselves. Great. I'm going to add 6th grade 2020, 2021. Okay, so that's all done. And now I want to change this new little option that we have. It wasn't on material, was it? So now I can click on it and I can choose what do I want students to be able to do with this particular document. So do I want students to be able to only view it? That's helpful if it's something that I've created. I want them to watch or read. But no, I actually want them to interact with it. So students can edit the file. Okay, that's actually probably what I want. Sometimes I really like this one. What if I made a template, like some sort of worksheet or some sort of skeleton I want them to fill out? The very last option here says make a copy for each student. That's super cool. I really, really love this feature, and this is one of the biggest selling points of Google Classroom, actually. But alas, in this situation, I would like them all to just edit my one slides file. So I'm going to select that, and now I can make a couple other choices that are new compared to material. So okay, that's the same. I want it for this class. All students. Yep, I want it for all students. Now points, actually, I'm not going to be doing points here. This is, if anything, it's, an icebreaker. But mostly we are using Google Classroom for formative assignments. So these are things that should not be graded. Anything that's graded, we are putting those things on ManageBack. So I'm going to actually, instead of choose 100, choose ungraded. All right, due date. This is really great for self-management for our students. We need to kind of, tell them when it's due, and this will appear on their Google calendars. So let's say I'm teaching them today on July 27th. I'm going to give them 2 days. All right, and do I have a time? Nah, I'm not going to put a time. I just need it by this day. All right, so topic, let's put it over into assignments. And rubric, this is a really awesome feature. If you are going to mark something, you can actually click this and you can create a rubric on the spot. So that's for another video. For now, we're just going to be doing a really quick intro for the bare bones features. Okay, the very last one is another feature that is for another video, but this one is about checking plagiarism. It will do Google searches basically and see if there is a high percentage of copying in the material from your students. This is a premium feature though. So I believe currently Google is saying that you can have 3 originality checks per year per class. But don't worry, if you are concerned about plagiarism, we do have a subscription to turn it in through ManageBack. So that's a separate conversation also. So happy to help you out with that one. But let's get this assignment online. So we can click on assign, and now all students in my class are going to get an email and or an alert, depending on what they have their settings up here set as. But they should all be getting an alert, and they can all come in and they can start seeing this immediately. So what if I wanted to schedule this though for tomorrow? So I'm going to, instead of deleting this, I'm going to repost this one. I want to show you the repost feature. I'm going to schedule this for tomorrow. So now I can click on create, reuse post. All right, so the next step that you're going to be taking is finding the class in the list, and then finding the assignment that you want to repost. So in this case, I'm reposting an assignment from my own class, the same class here. So I'm going to be reposting introduce yourself. So I'm going to click on reuse, and it's going to make a duplicate. So what if I wanted to schedule this post because my class is actually tomorrow? So I can come up to this button. Instead of clicking assign, there's a little drop down. So I click on that. I can say schedule, save as a draft, just like in an email, or I can throw it away. I'm going to choose schedule. Okay, so here's today, July 27th. I'm going to choose tomorrow, and I'm going to post it at 8 a.m. So that's kind of like a responsible time for the kids to be waking up, and I don't want to be posting it, right now it's almost 5 p.m. I don't want to, be taking away their personal time. So I'm going to be posting it tomorrow, and I think that's a little bit better. So I can click on schedule there. Okay, great. So you can see that there are these 2 different posts right now. So this one is a solid color, and that indicates that I have posted it. This one is kind of grayed out up above, and it says next to it, scheduled for July 28th at 8 a.m. Okay, cool. So I can click on edit, I can come back and I can change that date at any time if I want. So there's some other fun stuff in here that you can try and play around with as well, like quiz assignment and question. I want to just encourage you to do that. So the last section for today's video is going to be about people. So there are two different sections here. There is, first of all, teachers. You can click on the person and the little plus button there, and you can type their name out. So let's say I wanted to invite Miss Kim Hogg. I could click that, and I could click on invite. I'm not going to do that. She's going to get an email and wonder what this is. Or if I wanted to invite my students, I can click on the same little icon for students, and I can type their names or their email addresses. But it's so much easier if you just use the invitation code, which we found back on stream. So there's one more section which we're not going to be using. This is the grade section. I highly encourage you, if you are marking anything, please use Manage Back. Things that are in Google Classroom should be focused on giving feedback and kind of like more of a formative nature without a grade associated with it. Last little two bonuses that I forgot to mention earlier are that you have access to 3 great features for your classroom. You can quickly jump to your Meet call for your class. You can jump to your class's Google Calendar, and you can also jump to your class's Google Drive folder. So it makes a Google Drive folder for your class automatically when you make a new classroom. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the gist of Google Classroom. There are some more other hidden features that you might want to try and play around with. Try checking out a little bit more on the settings and how you might customize the stream. You might also want to try and check out what you can see over here, like to review and calendar, to do, and some of these other fun things over here that I didn't mention in today's video. All right, well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.